Like, share, subscribe. Shouts out to the Lions Den community. And don't y'all forget to subscribe to the podcast show. Link will be pinned in the top of the chat.
Just name the channel who can bang with us. I'll prove that you are smoking dust. GGD Media is top notch in this game, y'all. You failures only have yourself to blame, y'all. Cricket TV and a weapons make you suckers cry. Why don't you close your channel, crawl into a hole and die? Shout out to those who love our movement, no, we'll never flop until you get your mouth on LGBT. We are the underground outfit, y'all. We built this whole thing by ourselves, no in y'all. Independence start with self-preservation. If you can't take care of self, then how can you build a nation, y'all? Yup, we got that merch for the ladies and yes, we even got that merch for the babies and we got appliances and everything that you will need. We got some banging songs that make anemic haters bleed.
All right, man. Salute everybody tapping on in. Like, share, subscribe as y'all come on up in the building. Salute to Brenda Jones. I appreciate you coming through with a $50 donation. And this is the reason why I'm making this video tonight, because you asked me based off of a video I did earlier today. And I told you guys I thought that it's going to be a 50-50 situation between I thought it was going to be a 50-50 situation between Diddy getting a new trial and him going right to sentencing on next Friday, right? So if Diddy doesn't get a new trial, he goes to sentencing on next Friday, right? Let me explain what I'm talking about. And I want to, I want to make this clear for everybody that's listening to this video, okay? So when I told the girl, oh, no, not her, I should say everybody. I don't want to say you because I did a video, telling everybody, right? When I said what I said in the actual video, I was telling you that because it's a very bad situation if Diddy, and let me repeat myself again because I have to say this, right? It's a very bad situation if Diddy has to go to a retrial, okay, a new trial. He's fighting. Let me explain this so people can understand, right? He's fighting for a new trial because he knows that they're going to cook his ass. The government is trying to raise the limit all the way to the max for Diddy. Now, on Friday, the feds are going to put out their recommendation, right? On Friday, the feds' recommendation for Diddy's sentencing, bro, that shit going to be close to 20 years, if not more, even though he can only go max 20 years. They're going to raise his levels, and they've said that the government wants to raise his levels 5 times, right? Also, they said the probation hearing. Remember this is in the paperwork. The probation office, they gave their recommendation already, but theirs was sealed. But Diddy's legal team and their filing, they let the cat out the bag when they put this in their filing. And they said, yet both parties, both the probation office and the government asked the court to do just that. Probation recommends guidelines, enhancements based on, this is probation office who've already put in a report, acquitted conduct, they say. But here's the thing, and we're going to talk about that tomorrow. Diddy's lawyers keep trying to play this acquitted conduct stuff. I'm going to tell you why it's not going to work tomorrow in a different video. But let's just keep going for this video today. of a sentence 5 times longer than the average sentence for the Mann Act defendants with similar criminal histories and justify this length sentence based on the supposed fraud and coercion that the jury rejected. See, here's the thing. The jury didn't have to reject it. Diddy's own legal team, they admitted to the violence. The violence can be a part of the coercion. The violence can be a part of the fraud. Right? The violence can be a part of the force. I'm talking about during the Mann Act. And I'm going to show you why. And I'm going to show y'all why Diddy is trying to fight this and wants to see it thrown out of a new trial. He's playing Russian roulette, literally. He knows that first of all, he's playing a dangerous game with this judge because he's not showing remorse. If you watch this judge in any of his 4 rulings, right, he normally goes by the probation office recommendation. But he will go a little lower if you took a plea deal, if you copped out, or if you admitted guilt and whatever like that. He'll go a few months lower. Boom. But Diddy's not the case. Diddy's not doing it. Diddy's basically denying it and saying that he was a corn star and denying all this other stuff. And this is I'm telling y'all, the way this judge operates, to me, the judge gonna nail his ass. And Diddy, in my opinion, knows this. So that's why he is taking this shot and trying to get a retrial. But the judge is being smart, very smart. Everybody thought today they were going to get an answer. Nope. Remember, this happened before with Diddy. Remember, this happened before. One of the times that Diddy was fighting for bail, the $50 million bail, not the last time he was in court, but one of the times Diddy was fighting for bail. This was before the last time. Diddy went in there. All the family went up there. And everybody thought Diddy was just going to get bail. And the judge says, nah, I'm not going to make a decision now. I'm going to take the weekend to think about it. And then the judge made a filing, denied bail. I came back in here and told y'all bail denied. When everybody was like, oh, ticket, the bail hasn't been denied. I said, bro, the coach, he's going to deny the bail, bro. He came back and denied bail. This is before the last time Diddy got failed bail, when the 4th of July weekend, when he had, you know what I'm saying, the acquittal on the 2 counts, and then he got found guilty on the Mann Acts, right? Check it out, y'all. Now you got to follow me on this, because this is real right here. Now, see, and I'm telling y'all, you have to follow what I'm saying to understand what I'm telling y'all, okay? So now let's get to this, okay? And I want everybody to check it out. So y'all check it out now. Check out what I'm saying to y'all, so everybody has a clear mind and a clear head on what's going on. All right? So now, we come to this. Diddy's legal team put this in the filings. And I want y'all to read this. This is why I told y'all. And let me before I go here, y'all have to follow me. To the lady who donated and asked me, everybody else, y'all have to follow what I'm saying to y'all so y'all understand. This is how the feds work. Most of the time, you get a retrial like this, and the feds have more stuff that they could have came and hit you with, they're going to come back and hit you with more stuff on the retrial. Okay, case in point, Harvey Weinstein. And I said this earlier today. Harvey Weinstein appealed his case. Harvey Weinstein got a new trial. What happened in Harvey Weinstein's new trial? They brought up that underage girl in that new trial to testify against him as another count against Harvey Weinstein. That hit Harvey Weinstein for a surprise. They nailed Harvey Weinstein on that. Pastor, what's going on, man? Salute to you, brother. I see you in the building. Much love to my brother, Pastor, in the building. So they hit Harvey Weinstein, I'm going to say it again, with another count, right? And they brought that girl up. Go back and look at Harvey Weinstein's retrial if you think I'm lying. They did that to make the case stronger. And when you asked me this question, ma'am, what I did was I went to Google and I looked it up for you, and I'm going to show you tonight. But not only that, I have the paperwork to show you why they're going to do what they're going to do. And I also have other things that I'm going to show you as part of the proof of what I know they're going to do to Diddy if they give him a retrial. I know they're going to do it. And they showed their hand, in my opinion. This. Diddy's legal team filed this. And in the filing, this is what Diddy's legal team is saying that the government is trying to do. And I'm telling y'all this, you need to pay attention and stay in the paperwork, in the filings, because the devil is all in these details, man, and it's crazy. So read this right here. No grouping is appropriate because there are no victims. That's what this is Diddy's legal team writing this to the court. Now read this right here. Probation, that's the probation office. Remember now, the probation office, right? Diddy's legal team, the probation office already made their recommendation, but that was sealed. Nobody saw what their recommendation was. Well, we found out what their recommendation was because Diddy's lawyers put it right here with the probation office recommended. And Diddy's lawyers were so upset that they recommended that. That's another reason why Diddy is fighting for a new trial right now, because he know the judge gonna nail his ass, because they know this judge have a history of going with the probation office, but the judge has never really had situations where the person showed no remorse or there was real extreme violence and coercion and fraud that was connected to his cases. Most of his cases, his case had a plea deal. Another case had a dude who basically took admission to guilt and remorse, and so the judge had a little bit of mercy on that cat, and he went a little bit under what the probation required. But Diddy's not doing that for this. Diddy's saying, man, they capping. Diddy's fighting it. That's what I'm trying to tell y'all. This judge is smart. He is crossing all of his T's and dotting all of his I's to make sure they cannot come back against him either side, or excuse me, Diddy's side, with a appeal or something that they can win. He's going to make sure legally he has done everything he can to seal the deal for whatever he says. Now, read what they wrote. This is Diddy's team now. Probation identified the following individuals as victims for counts 3 and count 5. That's the 2 Mann Act counts. Mrs. Ventura, that's Cassie. Jane Doe, we all know who that is. And 8 male entertainers. And they named all of the male entertainers. And, keep reading it, an unnamed Cowboys for Angels escort. The probation office has already came with 8 more victims. And remember, the male escorts were not charged. They all cooperated with the feds. So they were not charged in any crimes because they were given immunity for their cooperation, which means if Diddy goes back to trial on this, they all have to testify if the feds want them to can keep their deal up. And not only that, the feds more than likely are going to turn around and bring them in and charge Diddy in a new trial as victims of Sean Diddy Combs. And I'm going to tell y'all why. The feds are going to be able to use, or they're going to try to use, which is going to really work, and I'm going to tell y'all why, the part of fraud and coercion and some force with some of these escorts, the male escorts. And as I show y'all, because y'all know I stay in the paperwork, I'm not going to come on YouTube and say something and I don't have the writings to back me up. I Googled it to see if that was possible, what I said. And you damn right I was. Yes. male escorts could potentially be charged as victims in a new trial against Sean Diddy Combs on Mann Act charges. I told y'all this, but they didn't want to listen to me. And I damn well going to tell y'all. And I'm going to finish reading this to y'all. This is the reason why Diddy does not want to go sky up with the feds. Because it was just Cassie and Jane. Remember, it's 10 years on each Mann Act count. If Diddy goes to retrial, and they got 8 male entertainers and an unnamed Cowboys for Angel escort, that's 9. That'll be at least 10 counts total against Diddy. And he could be facing a potential 100 years in prison because each one would be an individual count. Diddy's lawyers wrote this. Read it again. The probation identified the following individuals as victims for counts 3 and count 5, the 2 Mann Acts. Mrs. Ventura, Jane Doe, and 8 male entertainers. And an unnamed Cowboys for Angels escort. And I told y'all this earlier today, and I had people asking me, oh, Ticket, they can't be charged. I said, yes, they can. Diddy can be charged for them if they have a retrial and a new trial. And that's exactly what the feds would do. And they do this a lot to lay the hammer on their case. They'll bring forward more charges to beef up their case, which is why in the writing, Diddy's lawyers reveal that the probation office have now identified 8 more male entertainers and an unnamed Cowboys for Angel escort as victims. Now, I asked whether they could be charged. Diddy could be charged. Yes, male escorts could potentially be charged as victims in a new trial against Sean Diddy Combs on Mann Act charges, but it would depend on specific evidence and legal strategy, right? The Mann Act prohibits transporting individuals across state lines for the purpose of prostitution or other illegal sexual activity, and it is gender neutral, meaning male escorts could qualify as victims if prosecutors can show that they were transported interstate for prostitution under coercion, deception, or other unlawful means tied to Combs' actions. The law doesn't require victims to be female. In cases like United States versus Marcus in 2010, have applied it to male victims and sex trafficking contexts through though coercion was the key. Now, here's why. This would destroy Diddy, the coercion part. You guys all remember Clayton Howard. After the case, he was very loud. He was the one that went in on Cassie. Cassie and Diddy set me up. They both drugged me and gave me these things. And Diddy pulled out the blicky, told Cassie to go get the blicky on me, pull out the gun on me, and threaten me. They also, these escorts, some of them testified and gave testimony and gave that they were originally called to dance, and when they arrived, it was about sex. That's fraud. And then they took money and went with it. They're on interviews saying this. And you don't have to think I'm lying. This is why the feds did what they did. Let me repeat myself again. Let's get to it. Clayton Howard.
Give me the backstory behind the incident where Diddy said that he would shoot you for laughing at him. Yeah, I had finished having sex with Cassie, and like Diddy was weird. Like even though he was paying us to sleep with his girl, dude is exceptionally competitive, bro. Like he would be trying to compete with us to out sex his girl, but he's paying us because he knows we're larger than him, and are gonna do a better job than him, which is like it's like an oxymoron or something. You know what I'm saying? Like, dude, what are you doing? On one side, you're paying me to do something, but at the same time, you're going against it by trying to compete with me. You know what I'm saying? Um, so Diddy was a strange character, So he would.
Peep what he said. Diddy's lawyers in court said, oh, he just did this for his own entertainment and pleasure to watch. Clayton Howard, one of the guys who was included in this case, says, nah, 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 nah. Diddy was competing with me. This is very powerful stuff. They have it on tape. They have it on videotape. And I told you, the feds have lined this shit up, in my opinion. Cassie will not be charged. And the reason why is because Cassie got full immunity for her testimony against Diddy with the feds. Therefore, anything involved in this case, Cassie cannot be charged on. So even if they get Clayton Howard up there to say, hey, Cassie helped Diddy and they did this, they won't charge Cassie because she got immunity. She got full immunity. But Diddy ass will be toast. And the same thing that Clayton Howard said in these interviews, he would have to say on the stand. And if not, he could be prosecuted and for sure would lose his civil case. Let's keep going.
I'm trying to think of the right way to say this. There really is no right way to say it, honestly. I was having sex with Cassie. Straight, lustful, hot, drug fueled sex. And Diddy
Drug fueled coercion. Let's keep going.
noticed it. So when I finished, I'm gonna be honest. I was younger and I was an arrogant little dude. I'm gonna be honest. I was so arrogant. Like I knew what I was doing to Cassie. So I would get up and like the analogy, the brother done tore the woman apart and you drinking Kool-Aid after. Like, yeah, I did that. I used to do stuff like that today. Like I would smash out Cassie, get up, get a water, and be drinking the water, standing there like, yeah, what you gonna do now? Um, so Diddy didn't really like that. He didn't like the fact that I would like. I guess you want to say like be arrogant with it. You know what I'm saying? Like do it like that. So one time I did it, and he was like, "Yo, you really think you that dude, right?" I said, "I'm saying your girl seen the thing, so she keep calling me." He's like, "Yo, I'll blow your damn face off." I said, "Man, you ain't got no damn gun," because I kind of knew him at this point. I said, "Bro, you ain't got no gun, and you ain't that damn stupid to pull no gun on me." So he was like, "Yeah, baby, go get my gun." Cassie stands up. She starts walking towards the master street like she's going to get the gun. So I'm gonna be honest, Art. Like she was like 5 feet from the door. I was like, "Oh, she might really be going to get this." um, but she stopped right before the door. She turns around and she just goes and sits in his lap. And he says, "Yeah, you lucky she don't want to go get it, so I don't have to shoot you." But that's when Diddy threatened to shoot me in the face.
Done. He testifies that in open court, it's over. He didn't even testify in court, but the feds have that information. See, this is the part right here where I tell y'all, and when they say, oh, these guys were victims too, you have to listen to all the things these different escorts have said in interviews and paperwork to the feds.
Diddy's a wild boy. Diddy's like, they say act as if. And a lot of people might say that Diddy was a punk in the 90s and he wasn't this and he wasn't that. But you got to imagine that a man who has lived his life acting as though he was a gangster would eventually attribute that character and become the thing that he's acted for the last 30 years. And I honestly feel that that's what Diddy is. Like even Diddy's mannerism, even his personality when I was with him in these freak offs, it read pimp. Like I literally got pimp energy from Diddy. The first 2 years, bro.
Now remember, Diddy just said, nah, man, I'm a corn worker. I was just videoing. The sex worker said, nah, man, I got that energy that Penny. Diddy was acting like a pimp, man. See, this is why we trying to tell y'all, and it's in the details now, and this is why y'all have to listen. He don't want that retrial. He don't want a new trial. Because what they going to do is they going to bring all these other dudes in and charge Diddy, and then they're going to be facing 100 years off different counts of the Mann Act. I'm telling you this. Keep reading. Keep reading. In Combs' case, the existing Mann Act convictions, right, are what? They're on transporting individuals, primarily women, like Jane, for what prosecutors allege were orchestrated freak-offs involving prostitution. The prosecution's narrative leans on Diddy directing these events with payments funneled through proxies and evidence of drug or intimidation. That's what Clayton Howard just said right there. He said Diddy threatened to pull a gun on him and blow his face off. Clayton Howard is in this case. Right? If male escorts involved in similar interstate setups, say, transported for these events under false pretenses, coerced into sexual acts, or paid in a way that meets the legal definition of prostitution, they could be framed as victims. That's exactly what they said. Go listen to the interviews. The interviews destroyed Diddy because most of these sex actors or escorts stated that they were brought as male dancers originally. They thought they were going to dance. And when they got there, they were asked, did they want to have sex? And then they agreed and they were paid. They gonna nail Diddy ass if he get a retrial. That nigga gonna face 100 years off Mann Acts because they're gonna, this is the reason why. Let me rewind. The probation office don't call all the sex workers now, the 8 male entertainers, victims. And this is why they've enhanced and they hammering Sean Diddy Combs right now on his time. See, I ain't gonna come in here and just tell y'all something that ain't in the paperwork. I'm showing you the reason why they say these dudes on interviews saying this. What, they're in lawsuits saying this. What do you think they're gonna say in court? What do you think they already said to the feds? So the last thing Diddy want is a retrial, because then I guarantee you, if the judge grants Diddy a retrial, a new trial, in less than 3 or 4 weeks, it will be a superseding indictment with 8 or 9 more counts and everything else they left out of the first time against Diddy. And he's going to be hammered completely. And he felt like he had to take the risk because he didn't want to face the time that the judge was going to give him now on these 2 Mann Act charges. And that's why I told y'all I ether every last one of these niggas on YouTube that don't know what they talking about. Because if Diddy ass was going to walk out that door and he was going to get time served or something like that, he wouldn't even be worried or tripping about this shit. He is panicking and going crazy because he knows that judge is about to hit his ass with the Holy Ghost. I'm telling y'all this. Read what it says. The prosecution's narrative leans on Combs directing these events, with payments funneled through proxies and evidence of drugs or intimidation. If male escorts involved in similar interstate setups say transported for these events under false pretenses, coerced into sexual acts, or paid in a way that meets the legal definition of prostitution, they could be framed as victims. The indictment and trial testimony already referenced sex workers broadly, and posts found on X mentioned male escorts in the context of Combs' parties, though without concrete evidence tying them to the charged conduct. What does it say? Right? Now, the defense is arguing that these encounters were consensual, paid agreements among adults, not prostitution. That's what Diddy's legal team is saying. But that's not what the sex worker said. He said Diddy seemed more like a pimp. That's what he said. That sounds like prostitution right there. I didn't say that. Clayton Howard said that. He said Diddy seemed more like a pimp. Right? And push back on the Mann Act application to Combs' case as a stretch. For male escorts to be added as victims in a new trial, prosecutors would need to prove Diddy's intent to facilitate illegal activity, not just consensual sex work, and show transportation across state lines, which is the Mann Act's core element. That's easy to show. They've already shown that in court. The transportation across state lines, and the sex workers have already admitted to coming across state lines taking flights. Peep now. If the escorts were independent contractors who willingly participated and weren't coerced, their victim status could be challenged. Clayton Howard said, well, I'm going to play what he said. I'm going to play what the other one said. And the other one said, they're especially given the defense's claim that payments were for time or performances, not sex. That's not true. Because the sex worker said, hey, man, if you didn't perform, man, I wouldn't get paid. Or if I couldn't perform to a certain level, I'd get less money. Bingo. Right? I'm telling y'all this. Read this. Each new victim added in a new trial could potentially result in a new Mann Act count against Sean Diddy Combs, provided the prosecution can tie each victim to a distinct instance of interstate transportation for prostitution or illegal sexual activity under 18 U.S.C. Why they didn't charge all this before? Because they probably felt like they didn't need it. But now they pull rabbits out their hats. Because Diddy's legal team has exposed that the probation office, in their writing, has not only now identified Cassie and Jane as victims, but also the 8 male entertainers.
Bro, I didn't even know it was Diddy and Cassie again. I thought this was a successful pimp who was pimping out his beautiful girlfriend to be a model or something like that, because I did not believe Cassie sold vagina. I did not believe that. She was too intelligent. She was doing too much. I actually thought she was like a model or something, and this guy was just pimping the hell out of her, pimping his.
Now imagine if Clayton Howard, he's got to get on the stand and say the same thing he said right there. Diddy's done. That is right. That is prostitution right there. He said this on open interviews. You don't think the feds have seen all this too? You don't think they're going to use this in court? That nigga get a new trial, he might have 10 Mann Act counts against him. I'm not saying it. I'm telling you what they're saying.
Pimping his arrangements, because you got some pimps who realize that a woman's body and her mind is far more valuable than her laying on her back all day, and they make serious money with these women. So I figured Diddy was just one of these guys. I never thought that he was Diddy, and I never thought it was Cassie, bro. Never.
Was any of these freakos recorded?
Oh yeah.
That's fraud right there. That's fraud right there. He didn't even know who it was. So that's fraud. Him not even knowing who it was. Let's keep going.
I was in several of the freak off videos. They recorded me, I want to say, for the first 2 years, basically every encounter. Yeah. Me and Cassie used to have hot sex, bro. This is the truth. Like, they would record it.
Now, listen, Diddy's legal team tried to say, oh, no, we recorded it all the time. He said they only recorded them for the first 2 years. All the other years, what happened? Remember, Clayton Howard was their most regular. He was their most regular. He worked with them for years. He said they only recorded them for the first 2 years. Diddy's legal team in court was saying, no. We recorded all the encounters. I told y'all. This is why. You want to play these games? You don't want to play these games with me. I'm surgical with that thing. surgical with that thing.
Bro, I've seen Cassie open up videos, old videos of me and her have sex and masturbate to these videos to the point where I can see her squirting. She's so turned on by me and her having sex.
You know what happened to the videos?
I don't know, but I remember when she was taking them, I did not want to be taped. And I told her this specifically.
There it goes right there. Game over. That's why I told y'all. He said, I did not want to be taped. What is taping somebody that didn't want to be taped? Is that corn? No, that's illegal. And I told y'all, if Diddy gets a new trial, they are going to nail his sorry ass to the wall, and they're going to put 100 years on this cat. They're going to have 10 different... See, and I can show y'all all these interviews that these escorts were doing. They don't even know that in their interview, they destroyed Diddy. So Diddy not even seeing this. Like, he not even being on that level mindset-wise to know, damn, bro, the feds already got all this information. This is why they call these guys victims, the males. Everything Diddy's lawyer said in court today, these males escorts said something different in these interviews. He gets a new trial, I want to put up that money. They've already showed their hand. Diddy's lawyers have showed it. That's why they're mad. They've called the 8 male escort entertainers and the Cowboys for Angels escort victims, along with Cassie and Jane. Diddy would be facing damn near 100-some years, 10 years per count on the Mann Act. You've already got Cassie and Jane. That's 2. He facing 20, 10 years each. You come back and you fight them and go back to court, and they put 10 more counts on your ass and say, we're going to charge you for every one of these 8 male entertainers you did. That's 10 to 100 years. So even if the judge says, Diddy, I'm going to give you half of that, that's 50 years in prison. Take your ass out. You done.
Specifically, like, yo, dude, I don't want to be on these tapes. I remember when I told her,
dude, I don't want to be on these tapes. He said he told Diddy. Them niggas get mad at me for stir-frying these niggas. He said he told Diddy he don't want to be on the tape. I told y'all. That don't sound like a victim? They gonna stir-fry his ass. They put this Negro on the stand. Diddy is toast in a retrial. Because if all these dudes, he get charged with that, they're going to testify the same thing they're saying in these interviews on the stand. It's going to bury Diddy. And all them niggas who said ticket, I thought you said Diddy was going to be... Man, y'all niggas better hope and pray that the judge say October 3rd, bring your ass in here next Friday for sentencing. You better hope and pray. Because if he get a new trial, man, I'm telling y'all right now, they showed you in the paperwork, they coming with almost 10 or more victims against Diddy. Trust me, they're going to stack and rack his ass. This is the same thing they did to Harvey Weinstein. Harvey Weinstein thought he was going to get a retrial. He was going to come in on them same girls, and he was going to get up there and win. Harvey Weinstein got to the retrial, and they brought in another victim, and that one was underage. They brought her ass in and charged him with that. Look it up. And Harvey Weinstein, she couldn't believe it.
Told her this, I knew who they were at the time, and my biggest concern was the fact that, everybody think Diddy gay. I didn't want to be on no tape with Diddy and everybody think that he's gay, because the second people see me on the tape with Diddy naked, they gonna think it's some gay stuff. So I told Cassie this. I said, yo, listen, I don't want to be on these tapes. Like, I don't want to be on no tape with him, no disrespect. Maybe if we was in a music video, we was in a club, yeah, it's lit being on tape with Puffy. It ain't lit being in this situation, baby. I don't want to be on no video with Puffy. She tells me straight up, no, Clay, it's okay. This is just for me because, we have such hot sex. It turns me on. Like, I love watching this and playing it back. I talk about it to Sean. Let me show you something. She goes and takes out her MacBook, bro. And like I told you, she opens a folder. She had a bunch of videos in there. I remember it was probably like 30 videos in there she had at this time. And she just cuts one on. Squirts, orgasms, all of this, just off watching a prior video of me and her engaged in a freak off. And that's the only reason I really stopped asking her about the videos, because I personally saw her obtain sexual satisfaction. I had no reason to doubt that they were for her personal use and that she was using them herself. So I kind of let it go. You can imagine my surprise when the U.S. Attorney's Office had him.
Did you ever try to leave a freak off, but they made you stay? Just out of curiosity.
They used to take my clothes and my phone, so they were
done. And them niggas try to come against me? Oh, man, they were all willing participants. This nigga said he tried to leave, and they took his clothes. And they put this nigga on the stand, and that these niggas was running around here on YouTube parade like this nigga was helping Diddy. Yeah, man, he said Cassie. Man, that nigga buried that nigga Diddy. And he gonna be charged. Diddy's gonna be charged with him and the rest of them escorts. They gonna get up on that stand and save they ass and bury Diddy. He say that it's over with on the stand. All this shit. I'm telling y'all. You can think what you want to think. I'm keeping it real. Keeping it real with y'all. That's damn near kidnapping. Think about what I just said. Force, fraud, coercion. Diddy do not want a retrial. They've already let you know they're going to bring all these entertainers up there as victims. That means each one is a new count. That means Diddy will be facing damn near 100 years if he goes to a new trial. Because I told y'all what the feds do. They're not going to play with you. He beat the first case like John Gotti. But what happened with John Gotti? He ended up losing. And he died in prison. These are all facts.
There were a bunch of times that I would want to leave, really from conditions. Let's say I would be locked in the living room with no clothes. Those 5-star hotels.
He would be locked in the living room. He said it was a bunch of times that I wanted to leave. I told y'all, man, bro, it's over with. Them niggas don't listen. You got the devil's in the details, my nigga. They gonna stir fry Diddy. And his lawyer said that, and then they go on open, and that's the worst thing that could happen. They're on open interviews saying all of these things. The escorts who are now being called victims. And this is why they're being called victims. So if Diddy gets a new trial, I told y'all, the worst thing is that nigga gets a new trial. And guess what? The feds can still do Diddy dirty and still hit the nigga. And this making me think they may be coming with a superseding indictment. Still. With all these new, because for them to say 8 male escort victims, they may be in a superseding indictment that we don't even see coming right now. The beef I cook. And you say, well, how were they victims? Everybody was, and remember, this is how them niggas gonna cherry pick now. Everybody was using Clayton Howard when he said Cassie. But they wasn't listening what that nigga said about Diddy too. And what he said about Diddy is going to destroy Diddy. Why? Because Cassie took the plea deal and got immunity. Diddy refused the plea deal and went to court. And because Diddy don't want to do whatever time he know this get ready to come to him, because he ain't fit to get time served with these capping ass Negroes online. Diddy knows that.
Our hotels are freezing. So I would want to leave, put my clothes on. A lot of times, you know, you locked in a room for days. You just want to get out, walk around.
Locked in a room for days. That nigga said you're locked in a room for days. Does that sound like somebody that want to be there? I told y'all this.
There would be times I was tired before they started like giving me the drugs. Like, you know, technically speaking, I've been here 10 hours, so I've kind of earned my rate. I'm ready to go. They would ignore me though, bro. They wouldn't give me my clothes back.
They would ignore me. Give me drugs. This is what he said. I'm not saying this. I'm telling y'all this. Days. And niggas coming, I've been trying to tell niggas, bro. I swear to God, I think the Fed's coming with a superseding indictment regardless. But I think that if Diddy gets a retrial, man, they gonna hit that nigga with the Holy Ghost. I'm telling y'all this. They got them niggas on open tape saying this shit. He said them nigga held him against his will. Does that sound like all consenting parties? And this is why Diddy, and remember, you have to remember, Diddy's legal team wrote this, not Ticket, not the government, not some YouTuber. Diddy's legal team exposed that the probation office has now identified not only Cassie and Jane as victims in the Mann Act, but all of the sex entertainers, which lets me know that they're coming with a superseding indictment to smash Diddy and add all of these other entertainers. And it's going to be easy work. Because this dude, Clayton Howard, this shit is a movie the way he tell this shit. And all them people that was cheering, all the Diddy fans that was cheering Clayton Howard because he was talking about Cassie, this is how small of brains they have. Cassie got immunity because she cooperated with the Fed. She got full immunity. Diddy refused to. So his testimony is only going to hurt Diddy because Cassie got full immunity.
Back, they would hold my phone. I remember one time.
They would hold my phone, bro. This nigga say this in court, bro. We ain't even. What else are we talking about? They have the evidence that these people were transported. That's why Diddy got found guilty on the Mann Act. Then you talking about the enhancements with force, fraud, and coercion. Nigga, that's easy work.
Time specifically, Cassie had me locked in a room for like a day and a half, and I asked her numerous times to give me my phone and my clothes, and she'd be like, okay, I'll give it to you, I'll be right back, and she wouldn't come back. Then when she did come back, it was time to do a freak off, and they would want me to do the freak off before I could go to the store or leave the room. So
he was forced to do a freak off. He said they would want me to do a freak off before I could leave the room. I told y'all this. That nigga get mad at me for keeping it a hundo.
I do the freak off and I satisfy her. I'm waiting to give them a second to get ready in the bedroom. That second turns into 4, 5, 6 hours, and then they come back and do the same thing again. So I remember specifically there was one time where I tried to leave numerous times, but because they had my phone and my clothes, I couldn't, which kind of makes me I don't want to say it, but a hostage to an extent.
Makes me a hostage. There you go. I mean, bro, he's had to say this in court. He said this in the interviews. They're gonna play this in the court. This is already in evidence. He's not gonna be able to go back and say, nah, I didn't mean like that. No, nigga, you said this in the interviews and you said this in your lawsuit, sir. Remember this. Remember this now. And y'all wonder why. Everybody wonder why. I told y'all during the case, this is why Diddy's lawyer didn't bring him up there on the stand. When they were trying to bury Cassie, they could have brought Clayton Howard up there on the stand, but they knew Clayton Howard was going to tell everything. So they took their chances and didn't take his ass up there. Period.
Because I can't willingly leave. You can't walk into one of these 5-star hotels, buck naked with no phone. You're not going to get that far. You're not registered. They're not going to want to hear I'm upstairs with Diddy. You really think Diddy's going to answer the hotel phone and say, yeah, this naked black guy is with me? Absolutely not.
And you got an STD by Cassie, right?
Well, I found out first because I actually got an STD test because I started feeling weird after an encounter. Not going to ask you if you know how that feels. I pray to God you've never had that experience. I've only had it one time in my life with Cassie. And the feeling of catching an STD is not a comfortable feeling. The first thing you notice is the difficulty in urination. And that's the first thing I noticed. Like, yo, what the hell? What the hell is wrong with me? I thought I had like water in my penis because that happens sometimes as a man. When you take a shower, you might get a little water in there and it's discomfort when you pee. But the next day it was worse. So immediately I go to the doctor to find out. I come up positive for chlamydia. Thank God my girlfriend was out of town at the time, so she didn't know. So I'm trying to just hurry up and get the disease over with before my chick come back, want some beef, and then I got to take care of her and possibly infect her. In any event, she didn't come back. My girlfriend didn't come back. I think it was for like 8 days because she was on a business trip. So she comes back, whatever. We do get engaged. We do have sexual intercourse when she comes back. I want to say Cassie didn't call me for like a month. But during that month, my girlfriend went to the doctor, got completely tested out. She had clean test results. So I knew after my girl went to the doctor and didn't come home and curse me out saying, you gave me something, I was good. All right, bet. I go see Cassie maybe a month later. And the first thing I did was pull out a condom because I'm like, yo, if my girl didn't give me this, Cassie gave me this. But I can't directly accuse her because I don't know. So I didn't say anything. I just decided to wear a condom. Now, Diddy sees this condom. And he says, yo, bro, what's that for? And I said, oh, we got to be careful. We've been doing this too long. I got a girlfriend. I got to be mindful of that. I don't ever want to bring nothing home to my girlfriend. I love my girlfriend hard. Just because I slept with Cassie all this time, the woman I was with at this time, I loved my girlfriend. That's how I know I didn't love Cassie. I know I loved my girlfriend because I would sleep with Cassie and think about my ex-girlfriend. So Cassie actually comes out, and Cassie says, no, babe, remember the chlamydia? I said, what did you say? She says, oh, yeah, I had a chlamydia scare because Sean cheated on me. She blamed it on Diddy, said Diddy cheated on her, and told me I should go to the doctor. Yo, bro, I was pissed. Oh, I was so pissed. I was pissed. I was disgusted. And I just remember looking at her like, this is how you tell me? I think you should have reached out and told me by phone when you found out and say, yo, Dave, go to the doctor. Like this came up. Sean cheated on me. I think I have chlamydia. I don't want you to be affected by this. Go to the doctor. I'm so sorry. You didn't even have enough regard for me as a human being to call me and tell me you think your man gave you chlamydia. You know what I'm saying? So I ended up leaving that encounter actually. And I don't think I saw them for maybe 6 months because I was pissed off. But honestly, Art, economic conditions play a part. They hit me again with the flim flam. They called me up because I wouldn't come. They offered me like 30 bands to go to Florida to freak off with Cassie. I ain't making 30 bands to freak off with no woman. So even though, it's been times where they haven't paid me, the simple possibility that I might get this 30 bands is enticing enough for me to get on the plane and go to Florida. So I go back down there and I have sex with her again. But I use condoms for every other time I had sex with her after that point.
I try to tell y'all, cats don't want to listen. And I say this stuff to you guys, and I'm just telling y'all, bro, this is bad news, man. This is, bro, you put these Negroes on the stand, bro. It's not gonna end well, bro. It's not gonna end well. I'm telling y'all this. It's not gonna end well, man. When I say I want y'all to hear this part, right? Shout out to my boy Art of Dialogue too. Art's all over this with these great interviews.
When was the first time you seen abuse between Diddy and Cassie?
Yeah, that's crazy. It was actually in Cassie's apartment, and like we was in the middle of a.
This is another sex worker that was involved in this case. This is another sex worker that was involved in the case, right? Remember, Mann Act, transportation, force, fraud, coercion. Daniel Phillips is this guy right here. Let's go.
Freak off. And like the way her apartment is set up, like you see how I'm sitting on a couch right here, like maybe 10, 15 feet in front of me, Cassie would be sitting against the wall with her back facing me, and she has a computer there. And so I'm sitting on her couch, she's in front of me, and there's a wall right to the left of her, right? And so all of a sudden I hear Diddy, who's in her bedroom, he's like, yo, babe, come here. And she's like, yeah, no problem, but hold on 1 second. I have my computer on, my personal information out on my computer. Let me just take it off and I'm coming. Yo, all of a sudden, I just see this big-ass bottle of liquor come flying past her face and just hit the wall, bro. It didn't even break, which was crazy, but the shit hit the wall and fell down. She got scared. He comes out the room, grabs her by her hair, bro, drags her off that chair, and drags her into the bedroom. And I just hear, bop, bop, bop. Bitch, when I tell you to come here, you fucking come. Bop, bop. And she's just screaming, I'm sorry, I'm sorry. Yeah, I got crazy goosebumps right now, man. Like, when I was testifying against this, bro, like not in the court, like when HSI first reached out to me about this, I like from the day that they started interviewing me all the way up to the point where we was just about to go to trial, bro. Every time I told this story, bro, I was having a fucking meltdown, bro. The guilt that I had, bro, because I just remember standing up, I'm gonna kill this fucking guy, and then sitting down like, you're gonna die, bro. You're gonna die, bro. All of the fucking goons is in the next room, the next apartment right next door, bro. You know.
You have it right there. If these guys would have testified, he said all the goons is next door, all these guys next door. I'm screwed. Bro. I smell a superseding indictment.
You know what this is, bro. You know who this is, and it's like, yo, you like how the do you make what is the right decision in that case, bro? There's gonna be a whole lot of fucking, dumbass people that's gonna be like, yo, you supposed to go in there and beat the shit out this dude. Man, please, bro. Let me tell you something. He was beating the shit out of this woman, and she kept going back. And I'm not victim blaming, bro. But what I'm saying is there was certain to be two victims in this case, and one of them was probably certain to be excommunicado altogether, and that was me.
Case closed. Those are two sex workers that told y'all they were victims too. He said this in open interview. He'd get on the stand and say the same thing. I was a victim too. Now you see why Diddy's lawyers are ticked, because the probation office have identified these male entertainers as victims as well. And this is why they're trying to hammer Diddy on the prison time. And this is why I told y'all, they're not finished with his ass. Peep everything that's going on. During the trial, y'all, Deontay Nash didn't tell us all of the things that he put in his lawsuit. He wasn't the stylist, the gay stylist. He wasn't, to the person who said that's not a victim. Excuse me, sir. That is a victim, you asshole, stupid piece of shit. And I'm going to tell you why that's a victim. That's a victim because he was unable to react due to threats of force and in fear of his life, because he just told you that the goons was right next door. So he could not even defend this woman because he was in fear of his life. You big damn fool. Shut your stupid, non-educated, dumbass up. You fucking idiot. And I mean what I said too, nigga. You people are stuck on stupid. And when they nail this sorry piece of shit to the wall, I hope they take your ass, because you a stain, boy. And I hope they put you with him. You a walking shit stain. And I hope they nail you with his ass. All of you big dummies. Because you don't have no brains.
Especially if I would have attacked that dude, like, there ain't no way it ain't making the news, bro. Because I was going to rearrange his motherfucking face through the rage that was going through me, bro. But you just don't know what to do in that situation, man. I stood up, I sat down, I put my clothes on, I fucking sat back down again. I'm like it's just, you don't know what the fuck to do, bro. You don't know what to do. And then he has the audacity, fam, to walk out the room like 10, 15 minutes later and be like, yo, y'all ready?
Force, fraud, coercion. 15 minutes after beating the hell out this chick. You ready to go? Game over, bro. Game over. This is why y'all see them. This is why the probation office put these people as victims as well. They've even said themselves they were victims. And from their testimonies, these are victim testimonies. One guy told y'all, hey man, they trapped me in the room for days, bro. They took my clothes, locked the door, everything. Another man's telling you, bro, there's nothing I could do. I'm watching this girl get the hell beat out of her. There's nothing I could do. This man got the goons and people shit right next door. If I do anything, it's over for me.
And Cassie, this is the first time that I could say I could differentiate between Cassie not wanting to do this and not wanting to be there, and actually wanting to do it and be there, right? And so for me, I was done. There was no way in hell that
He just said he could differentiate. To the person who said it's a money grab, bro, you a sick individual, sir, and you're blocked, right? You are a piece of shit as a person, as an individual. You are the scum of the earth, and you say that your youngers are watching you a bad example, sir, as a parent. And you ought to be ashamed of yourself. And there's a beautiful place in HE double hockey stick for people like you, bro. Period. So take your ass on there. You are part of the problem in this world, not the solution.
that I'm getting hard, none of that shit. She started coming over to me and hugging me, and she could tell that I'm like shaking up. I'm pissed. I'm angry, and she starts trying to comfort me, bro. Like it's okay. Don't worry. I'm fine. Like all of this, shit, bro. Because he got up and went back in the room again. He could see that I'm not like into it, and she starts trying to fucking console my ass. Yeah. I'm sitting here like, yo, no, you like what the. You need to get the hell out of this shit. You got to run. You got to call the cops. You got to fucking do something. No, I'm fine. I'm fine. Don't worry about me. So the shit was just wild crazy, bro. And the thing about testifying in court, bro, is that they don't, court is interesting in that they only ask you the questions that they want to ask you. So you get only a partial part of the fucking story. You don't get this part of the situation. People will walk around and just be like, yo, he a pussy, he ain't do nothing, whatever, bro. Like, you be in that situation and have to make a decision whether or not you know this motherfucker most likely got a gun in the next room. You don't got a gun. You know he in the fucking room.
I told you. The second dude that said, hey, he got a gun in the other room. Who brings a gun shooting corn? Make it make sense. I tried, and y'all talking about, oh man, man, you dudes are fucking idiots. They gonna bury this guy. And this is Diddy's lawyers wrote this in the paperwork. This ain't ticket. Go look it up. You can go pull up the file and read the shit yourself. Diddy's lawyer put this, his legal team put this out here, that the probation office have now identified 8 male entertainers that was in this case and the unnamed Cowboys Flanger escort as all victims. What does that tell y'all? That tells y'all one of two things. Either a superseding indictment is probably coming with more victims added on, or if Diddy gets a new trial, shit, they're going to rack his ass up. They've already labeled these other guys as victims. They didn't do that before. They've done it now. And I'm going to tell you a big reason why I think why, too. Based off what they've heard in these interviews, based off of what was said to them in prior interviews, and based off the fact that the feds didn't bring all these people as victims the first time, which actually helped Diddy that they didn't bring all these people. Because if they would have brought all these people as victims, bro, they've been over with. If they would have did Diddy how they did R. Kelly, which was bring all them victims at one time, bro, Diddy has been in prison the rest of his life already. Look how many victims they had with R. Kelly. They didn't do that with Diddy. Now you see them ratcheting it up with Diddy. Talking about 8 male entertainers are all victims, all these people are victims. And these people on interviews saying they're victims. Talking about there was guns present. They're saying that. You got to be a dumb some of you know what. Bruh.
You know, his goons is probably right next door. You probably not going to make it out of this situation. You don't know what the to do, bro.
And I could follow up on that, Art, because I was in the same situation where I saw Diddy put hands on her. I saw him literally two-piece on the chest, like use the jab to measure her, follow up with the right hand.
That's why that dumb son of a bitch gonna talk about it's a money grab. Man, this nigga out here two-piecing chicks. And y'all niggas taking off for this shit. Y'all niggas some pussy, man. Y'all niggas extra pussy. And I know y'all niggas beat y'all chicks. I can never respect no nigga like that. I know y'all niggas beat y'all wives. See, you niggas is the worst, dirty type of dudes known to mankind. You the weak ass coward niggas that will put your hands on your own girl. Y'all sit up there and talk about, oh, this a money grab. These dudes is telling y'all he watched a nigga two-piece the girl. Think about what I'm saying to y'all right now. Then you got niggas came out talking about, well, Cassie said she gonna be, what the hell a person supposed to do when you keep just beating the hell out of them? You either gonna turn them into a monster or kill them. He turned Cassie into a monster, nigga. He's a scumbag, nigga. Period. Cassie was just a person who survived.
And twist his hip into that, homie. Like, he literally knocked her across the room with this right hand. So, you know, me as a man, masculine, I say, yo, homie, what the fuck you doing hitting this girl? Yo, Artie flexed on me. Real king boss, bro. Dude goes like this. What you gonna do? Six back on the couch like this, looking at me. I'm gonna be honest, I was fucked up. A man ain't never did nothing like that to me with that arrogance. It wasn't even, and like, I could feel that he wasn't threatening me with a physical approach. He knew that he could erase me if I put my hands on him. So, still.
There you have it right there. There you have it. Them niggas felt helpless in them situations. And y'all sitting up here, and he whole ass niggas sitting up here arguing with me. I'm telling y'all, ladies, stay away from punk bitch ass niggas like these. I'm telling y'all something. These niggas like to put their hands on chicks. I'm telling y'all, but I can't respect no nigga move like that. I don't care what you look like, nigga. Nigga, two-piecing chicks? Come on, bro.
Still, I'm not really catching it at the time. I caught this later, like when I reflected on it. What stopped me from attacking him was Cassie. I remember looking to my right, and she was holding her chest, but she's looking at me, and she's looking at him like she waiting for me to play Captain Saver. No, shorty, I just met you. You date this man. Clearly, he been doing this because you with it. So what, you waiting for me to jump out the window? Nah. Listen, I'm a New Yorker. I'm not playing that. I've seen plenty of girls get assaulted, and they fight back. Even if they not going to win, they jump, they wild. Oh, you hit me, da-da-da-da.
So he was saying Cassie wasn't fighting back. Cassie was getting her ass whooping, just taking that shit. None of these escorts said Cassie was fighting back. Force. Roger Bond said he was happy the one time Cassie decided to fight back because the nigga beat her ass so many times. And these niggas out here talking about a money grab? Man, these niggas some stripping assholes. Don't ever respect no niggas like these. Ever. On everything I love, nigga. Can never respect no nigga like these. Niggas is hoes, nigga, in real life. Stripping assholes.
They trying to scratch through.
Yeah, but Cassie ain't built like that. Listen, like, you know that. Like, you've had enough conversations with her, just like I have, to where you know she might try to act tough in these moments or whatever. But even when she's trying to act tough, bro, it's almost like when Jussie Smollett was trying to be like, yeah, and I was like, motherfuckers, like, and nobody believed that motherfucker, bro. Like, it's the same. Yeah, bro, like, she'll try to bark at you, but, bro, she's so fucking soft and gentle, and, like, ain't nobody believing that she doing shit. And that's one. But the second thing is Diddy is literally 3 fucking times her size, bro. Like, there's absolutely no reason for this motherfucker to be putting hands on her, bro. And that's honestly the only reason why I'm so angry with him, bro, because I witnessed that shit, and I carry crazy guilt that I didn't do anything to fucking stop him from doing that, even though I knew I could, and I could do it very fucking well. But, bro, what do you do?
But here's the thing, like, I get what you're saying, that she might have been like,
And see, I'm just telling y'all, man. So you listen to all these different male entertainers, and they all gonna have similar stories. I'm telling you, bro. And then everybody, y'all wonder why. They gonna rack them up. Diddy's lawyers have exposed a lot of things that the probation office is thinking alongside Diddy. They have a player, a cake bake for this nigga. If people think he's just gonna walk off on this case and that's gonna be it, man, like I said, man, they not finna go to war with you and all this and get embarrassed. Cake been baked, nigga. Cake been baked. Let me say it again. Cake been baked. You can believe it. You don't have to believe it. I'm telling you what it is. Cake been baked. Cake been baked. Take it as you may. Take it as you may. He ain't walking on that one, dog. They gonna deal with him. That shit just make me mad, to be honest with y'all, that niggas be capping for that shit, bro. When, like, I don't give a damn who it is. We just talking about this right now because is Diddy in this situation, but that shit is disgusting, man. You know what I'm saying? At some point in time, you gotta have some type of dignity about yourself, man. You know what I'm saying? You gotta have some type of honor about yourself to where, you know, it's a certain level of self respect that you have to where you don't respect shit like that, man. You know, you don't respect that type of shit, man. And the era we live in, you guys, you don't see that a lot, man. You don't see guys, you know what I'm saying? All right, like I said, man, I just don't, I got no respect for that nigga, bro. I never can, never had, never will. And so this is just what it is, man. I think they gonna hit his ass. You know what I'm saying? He go to that retrial, they damn sure gonna hit that nigga with them. They damn sure gonna hit him with them, with those other counts. Bro, they ain't gonna, they're not going to a retrial with just 2 Mann Act counts. They're not doing it. They gonna hit that nigga with like 9, 10 more counts. They gonna make that shit count if they gotta go run it back. Trust me, they did it with, look at everybody else they had retrials on, and all the people they brought up more victims on the next time. Shit that they left out that they didn't even think they needed to bring in. They're gonna start popping shit out the woodworks. I still think they still gonna have a superseding indictment coming on him, regardless if they don't have a new trial. Regardless. So again, you don't, somebody says what drugs got to do with it. It's a part of coercion. Listen to what the sex workers say. They give you drugs, and the sex worker even said this. The sex worker said they gave him drugs one time, told him it was one thing, it was something else, and gave him a whole bunch of it, and it blew his face off pretty much. Drugs will cause you to do things you normally wouldn't do. It puts you in certain moods, and it gets you to be, for example, Mark Curry said that they used to spike over there, that Diddy used to spike girls' drinks. So when you say, oh, well, what drugs got to do with it? Drugs have everything to do with it. Everything to do with it. What are you talking about? What drugs got to do with it? If somebody comes and spikes your drink, ma'am, right? And let me say this to you: if somebody comes and spikes your drink and you're not in control of what you're doing, what do you think that is? What do you mean? What drugs got to do with it? This happens all the time, right? See, I'm cut from a cloth where if I'm a real nigga, like I said before, if a woman respect me, she respect me off the word. I ain't got to put my hands on her. And what make the shit more diabolical is Diddy was a billionaire. If Cassie didn't want to rock with the nigga, or she wasn't in line, or she wasn't like pleasing the nigga, or not listening to him, he could have easily told her, look, man, go on with your life. And just get any other chick. Diddy could have had to pick of the litter. He didn't even have to, that's like a kleptomaniac. You stealing when you're rich. You only have to steal. That's my point. A mofo do that shit because they got power and they can. not because of what's right and what's wrong. I'm telling y'all this. That's the reason why I be so strong on this shit. I never respect no nigga like that, bro. And I never respect no chick like Sha'Carri Richardson, who will sit up there and put her funky ass hands on the man, then lie on the nigga and try to get him jammed up. This is the type of shit I'm telling y'all about. You got people out here who are freaking disgrace to society. And those are two of them, Sha'Carri Richardson and Sean Diddy Combs. And you may say, hey, well, Ticket, she didn't do all what Diddy did. Man, I don't give a fuck. She don't have no respect. And not only that, she tried to get a nigga jammed up and lie on a nigga in front of us on tape. She the worst type of chick. So I'm just telling y'all this. So when you say that, all that shit means something. That's why they call it about force, fraud, coercion. Force is you beating somebody into submission and you literally forcing them to do something they don't want to do. Fraud, yo, come on over here. We're gonna do a I want you to come over here and do some dancing and shit. And really you want them to come over there and participate in sexual activity. Then when they get there, it's something different than what you told them. That's fraud. Coercion, yo, come through. Yo, pop this right here. Yo, take this. Yo, smoke this right here. Boom. Once you don't took the drug and you out of your mind, now you can't make good decisions. You can't make normal decisions. Shit, you might pop the pill, and the next thing you know, you over here having sex for 10 hours. Coercion. This is what happens when you don't have brains and you don't know how to think about things. You have to be able to use your mind and think. These sex workers are telling y'all all this stuff. The dude said, yo, I thought Diddy was a pimp. He said straight up. He didn't say, hey, yo, I thought this was porno and we were just doing porno. No, he said, I thought he was a pimp. And he was pimping his girl. That's exactly what he said. There you have it. That's why Diddy's legal team is ticked now, because the government is getting ready. They know the government's coming with some shit. Why y'all think the judge came out here today and banged on Diddy today? The judge fucking banged on Diddy today. Did y'all see what the judge did today? The judge came out. Diddy wanted to come out in his regular clothes. The judge said, hey, man, what the hell are you trying to come out here in your regular clothes? You are a convicted felon. You should be in your jail clothes. Why in the blue hell is your team asking, can you come out here in regular clothes to this hearing? You ain't going home today. Read the paperwork. What the judge put out today, the filing. And he demanded an answer from Diddy's lawyers. And as of right now, I still haven't seen an answer from Diddy's lawyers. Still haven't seen it. When is Diddy's lawyers going to give an answer to that? Right? I'm asking y'all this. Think about what I'm saying. I was never capping. Right? So once again, think about what I was saying to y'all. So the judge, he went off on their ass. Like, yo, nah. All them people went up to the courthouse today and wasted their time. They had all them cameras and shit outside. Everybody got flights to go into New York, and they went up there thinking this nigga was going to be free. Nah, sit y'all ass down. Look at all that media that was up there at the courthouse. Everybody was up there in the courthouse today. Giggling, smiling. Nope. Read the paperwork right in front of you. Memo endorsement as to Sean Combs on response letter by Sean Combs addressed to Judge Armed Submarinian from his lawyer, Tenny Garagos. Closing for the hearing. Endorsement denied. As to the hearing on September the 25th, 2025. The application was made the afternoon before the hearing, and it doesn't explain the basis for a closing order of this kind outside of the context of a jury trial. Whether this has been done in other cases or whether relevant personnel were consulted and it posed any issues, the court will entertain an application relating to the sentencing proceeding, but it needs to provide some explanation along these lines. So ordered, signed Judge Arm Submaranian. Basically, the judge says, why in the blue hell you try to come into court in your regular clothes? You a convicted felon. You are a prisoner and a convicted felon. You don't get to put on your clothes like you did in a jury trial before you were convicted, sir. Offsides, 25-yard loss on the play. That's basically what the judge said. Offside, 25-yard loss on the play. Take y'all ass back. See, y'all trying to jump off sides again. Diddy's legal team got so many penalties, bro. It don't make no sense whatsoever. They're going to lose the game based off all the penalties they getting. Oh, y'all online talking about trying to go to Trump and go over our head to try to get a pardon. Oop, offsides, 30-yard loss on the play. See, Diddy and them probably was on the 5-yard line. They thought they was going to go score. What they did, all they did was get penalties and put them all the way back on the other side of the field now. 10-yard penalty, 20-yard penalty, 25-yard penalty, 15-yard penalty. Next thing you know, they back all the way up against the other end zone. They don't got all these straight penalties. Right? Think about what I just said. Hildora, you got to hold on now because the sack is coming on October the 3rd when they get sacked. When they hit it with that blitz on October the 3rd and they sack his ass, I'm just telling y'all what it is. Diddy's lawyers should have not said a word. If I was his lawyer, I wouldn't have said, I wouldn't have went to the media. I wouldn't have been talking about no Trump pardon. I wouldn't have said nothing. I would have been doing my legal work quietly. But when you go into the media talking about, oh, yeah, you know, the pardon and Trump and all this other stuff, guess what it does? It undermines the legal system and the judging them. So now what the judge and them going to do, they're going to make you pay. That's why they didn't give Diddy no ruling. I'm telling y'all this. They're going to make their ass pay. Y'all want to play with the legal system and act like y'all in here running shit? No, you don't run a goddamn thing down here in the Southern District of New York. Now, you going to sit your ass down. You don't run a damn thing around here. I'm telling y'all this. You don't have to believe me. You better believe me. Right? Right? Listen to what I just said to y'all.
And like, you know, it can't really have been her. But now that I know the full extent of what she was doing, the person I thought I knew is not that person. So I totally believe she's full of crap. She's a liar. The image of the person she presented to me, now that I know all the things that was actually going on during that 8-year period, she's a complete liar. She's not the person I thought she was. She's not the honest, humble, just dope chick I thought she was. That was all an act. Because as you can hear, my man here.
Clayton. But respectfully, you said you had a girlfriend. And so you said you loved your girlfriend. Nigga, was that an act too? I mean, since you was slanging D to Cassie, nigga, raw. Was that an act too, my brother? You said all this shit about Cassie, and it may be true. But you was slanging D to Cassie raw, nigga. And you had a girlfriend. But you said you love your girlfriend, but you was slanging Diddy Cassie raw, who's somebody that you said you thought was being pimped out by her boyfriend, and you went and hit that raw. I'm just saying, dog. Got to keep it 100, Playboy. Listen to what you said, sir. So the game is the game, brother. It go both ways. You don't get to just come out here and just make it seem like, you know, I'm just telling y'all that. I'm telling y'all that. Now, as far as the coercion, right? As far as the coercion goes, he said that Cassie and Diddy gave him pills. Listen to what he said. This is where the coercion comes in. Art of dialogue. Salute to my brother.
The drugs. When was the first time Cassie and Diddy gave you drugs?
Yeah, bro. Crack is whack, bro. Like I definitely for me, I am the worst crackhead that you will ever see in your life. I can't do no kind of drugs, bro. Because he is so. I can't remember if it was Cassie or him that initially asked me if I wanted to try it. I believe it was her. She asked me if I ever tried it before, but they was both standing there together. And I was like, no. And I think he was like, yo, you want to try it? It's going to make you feel real nice. You're going to feel real.
He said, you want to try it. It's going to make you feel real nice. Coercion. Y'all niggas want to keep playing this game with me, nigga? I'm surgical with this thing, nigga. You want to keep playing this game with me? Right? Listen to what he said. It's all in the details of what he said. It's all right there. All you have to do is listen. All you got to do is listen.
The worst crackhead that you will ever see in your life. I can't do no kind of drugs, bro. Because he is so. I can't remember if it was Cassie or him that initially asked me if I wanted to try it. I believe it was her. She asked me if I ever tried it before, but they was both standing there together. And I was like, no. And I think he was like, yo, you want to try it? It's going to make you feel real nice. You're going to feel relaxed. You're going to feel like, like partying. And so I was like, man, I don't with drugs like that, but I mean, I guess whatever. So I tried it. I mean, at this point, I've been with them for long enough. They're not hiding their identity no more. I'm shooting the shit with Cassie all the time now. Like, every time that we're together, we talking for hours and shit. So I feel a level of trust. And so I take this pill.
Si quieres sentirte limpio y protegido. Did y'all hear what he said? He said, so I took the pill. Listen to what he said. You see, you guys, again, it's hilarious to me that people will say all these things they say, but they ain't listen to what this guy said. He said, oh, yeah, so I took the pill. Peep game now. Peep game. You have to peep game. I know y'all don't want to listen, but it's good if you do.
About 30 minutes in, man. Maybe about an hour. I'd say about an hour in. I start feeling real jittery and shaky and real chattery. I start talking a lot. And so I guess I annoyed him. And he was like, yo, I think you need a break. So he was like, yo, I'm going to pay you a little something. Go, get something to eat or whatever. And we're going to hit you back when you feeling a little bit less like chatty. And so I left out the joint. She lived like by the BMW building on 59th Street in like a 10th, 11th Avenue, West End Avenue. It was West End. Yeah. So I don't know what happened, bro. Like it literally felt like 3 minutes later, my ass was in Times Square. I was up, bro. I felt like I just wanted to help everybody in my path. He gave me maybe $3,000-$4,000, and before I knew it, I had like 70 people standing around me because I was handing out $100 bills to everybody. I was like fucking Oprah. You get a Benjamin, and you get a Benjamin, and you like, yo, dude. I was giving it to kids. Homeless people was pushing each other, trying to like. It was crazy, bro. It was pandemonium. And then all of a sudden, man, I'm home. I don't even know how the fuck I got home, bro. I just realized I'm home. That's the next memory I have, and I'm throwing up for like 3 days, bro. Like I'm mad jittery. Anytime I eat water, every time I drink water, I feel worse.
Yeah.
Like the shit was crazy, bro. Like I don't know what the hell that shit was, but I don't think it was the same experience that they was telling me I was supposed to have. I don't know if that was ecstasy or what. But that's my drug story. It only happened once. The only other thing that Diddy used to offer me was like Cialis, bro, because
Oh yeah, he did do that.
he used to offer me that shit, bro. You know, yeah, because I didn't have the fucking Punisher ball pump, you know. And after he started kicking her ass in front of me, bro, that was it for me, man. My dick would not work in that situation for shit. I immediately had ED, bro. Like I felt so uncomfortable, bro. I was scared. It was like, yo, at any point, because here's the thing, man. I know that I could beat the shit out of this guy, man. I hate to say it that way, but like we are some big ass dudes back then, bro. People see me now and they like, yo, that guy is big. No, I'm not. I look like I ate me back then, bro. This guy was not gonna last anything if we was in a one-on-one fight. But the thing is, I told you, I idolized this dude from the time I was in junior high school, fam. So it's like, you know what could potentially happen to your ass if you go down that path, bro. So it's almost like a big ass pit bull, rage inside of you. You got that gorilla inside of you. You know what you could do, but you also know what is likely, not possibly, what is likely to happen to your ass if you cross that line. And it really fucks with you, man. It really does.
My thing is this, and I'll get back to the abuse in a second. But when they was giving y'all these drugs, they had no concern about what would happen to y'all?
Thank you.
Yes. Yes,
Thank
bro.
you.
Yes.
They just let us leave.
They just let us leave.
Anything could happen to us out there, bro. I was out of my fucking mind, man.
I told you about my situation. I was throwing up on the bathroom floor. I was messed up. They put me out of the hotel and sent me out into the street to go home. Dude, I'm throwing up over.
So let me read this part and I'm going to let y'all have a good night. And I want to get to this because I didn't want to miss this. And salute to everybody that's tapped on in tonight, man. So look what it says, you guys. Prosecutors introduce new victims. If prosecutors introduce new victims, such as male escorts or others in a retrial, they could file a superseding indictment to include additional counts, with each count corresponding to a victim in a specific act of transportation. This is standard in Mann Act cases. For example, or for instance, in the United States versus Kelly 2021, multiple counts were charged based on different victims transported across state lines. The key is evidence. Prosecutors would need to show that Diddy or his proxies knowingly transported each new victim across state lines with the intent to engage them in prostitution, supported by testimony, which they have from these guys. Y'all have heard the testimony, financial records, which they've already shown that in court, or other documentation. Hence, why you see Diddy's lawyers ticked in their writing, because now it's not just Cassie and Jane as victims. Read the first line again. Probation identified the following individuals as victims for counts 3 and 5. That is the Mann Act counts. Mrs. Ventura, Jane, and 8 male entertainers. Put all their names right there. They blacked their names out. And an unnamed Cowboy for Angels escort. Game over. They let y'all know. The government has called all of these guys that were in this case who were not charged. Diddy wasn't charged against him. He was only charged for transporting Cassie and Jane. But the feds can turn around and charge Diddy for transporting all those males. One by one. That's over 10 people. 10 years per count. 100 years he'd be facing if they stack them years. He's facing 20 right now on 2 counts of the Mann Act. 10, he'd be facing 20. 100 years, excuse me. 10 for each. And now, this is not me. This is not some Tom, Dick, or Harry. This is Diddy's team writing this. They are ticked about this. This is the reason why we were even in court today. This is the reason why we were in court. Because of this. This is the reason why we were in court. Because of this is why we were in court today. Because Diddy's team, they know that heat is coming. They know it. So they wanted to try to get an acquittal or do anything. Because I still think that regardless, the feds are going to come with a superseding indictment with Diddy. And I think that the feds are going to come for revenge on Diddy. And I think they're going to try to put Diddy away forever. You guys let me know what y'all think. Salute everybody tapped in. Like, share, and subscribe. Hey, I really appreciate you guys for supporting the channel, supporting the network. Like, share, and subscribe. Once again, there are links. Get the free membership on our website. That way you guys won't miss any of our news update stories or videos. They're all on the website, ticketvmedia.com. You go over there. You can go right to the members part and become a free member. That way you guys will get all the updates. Also, straight drop weight loss formula. Make sure y'all go tap in and copy some of that, as well as subscribing to our podcast show. Link will be pinned at the top of the chat down there below. And also, we just appreciate all y'all who support the channel. Cash App,